Shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. I want to give my honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone taught us this 100% truth according to the spirits to be Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect after pushing His word through the four corners of the earth in truth and sincerity. And peace and blessings to your hopeful believers out there, which are also part of the elect Tasha Shalom. And once again, I want to thank all Lord Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Hakodash. Forgive me, Yahweh Hakodash, the Holy Spirit. To do the lesson on today, Lord, in the feeds, you the sheets of Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai. So I was watching this video, the Parents Spirit of Yahweh Yahushai by, I think this is an elder brother. You know, Salak if I'm wrong. You know, it's a brother by Yum Yon up from the GMS Mississippi camp. You know, this video's title, You Have to Accept Whatever It Is. You see? And acceptance is a part of the growth. Because if you can't accept, you know, the particular things, because he's beautifully going into, because I think I watched a video the other day. Yeah, I think I watched it the other day. I watched the whole thing and I had to watch it. Wanted to watch some more, to hear some more stuff he said, to run it back. Because I was kind of doing something while I was listening to it. But he's going into accepting, you know what I'm saying, and the importance of accepting whatever the Lord may be putting you through, because at the end of the day, you got to understand the bigger picture, man. So let me pull this real quick, because all the particular things that Yahweh put us through, you know, the things that he allows Satan to tempt us with, it's all for the betterment of our faith and growth. Let me get this real quick. This is Romans chapter 8. I think it's chapter 8, verse 23. Let me make sure, though. Romans 8. It's probably Romans 9. No, it's Romans 8. It says, this is Romans chapter 8, verse 28. It says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. You see, it says all things. That's mean good and evil. You know, because you got to remember that Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, he's an omnipotent power. You know, you read in the scriptures, Romans 15:4, what is written 4 times written for our learning. And when Job, when he was undergoing the particular hell that he was going through by Satan tempting him, he lost his kids, he lost all his substance, his plague head to toe from boils. You know, his woman, she told him to curse the Most High and die. And he acknowledged the Lord's omnipotency. He said, shall not the Lord give us evil? But all these things work in congruent to the growth of the elect. You see? Even Yahweh Shah had to undergo these particular things. Yahweh Shah had to undergo certain hell. I mean, look, he had to undergo the cross. Yahweh Shah said that you cannot be my disciple lest you take up your cross. You take up your suffering. And the only way you're going to be able to take up your suffering if you accept it. Because if you continuously had a mindset that, man, why me? Woe is me. You're not going to be able to receive the salvation, man. Because eventually that's going to beat you up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull the scripture line backing off that point. But, well, now I'm going to pull it right now real quick because I don't want to lose the train of thought. Let me get this real quick. Let me see if I spell it right. Let not your conscience condemn you. Well, this is a good one right here. Right? This is a good one. I'm going to hold this, but I'm going to get another one. Because I want that one. Let not your conscience condemn you. Shalak, you bear with me. My bad, I spelled it wrong. Let not your conscience condemn you. It's in the Apocrypha. I think it's in Sirach 14. Condemn you. Let not your conscience condemn you. I think it's Sirach 14, man. Hold on. Salakia. Yes. Okay, this is what it is. I'm saying it wrong. This is Sirach, also known as Ecclesiastes chapter 14, verse 2. It says, blessed is he who conscience have not condemned him, and who has not fallen from the hope in the Lord. You see? Read it again. It says, blessed is he who conscience have not condemned him. You see? So when Satan attacks, man, you read about that. I'm not sure, but when Yahushua said, Simon Peter, Satan desired to sift thee as wheat, you get that word sift in the Greek. It's siniazo, which means to agitate one's faith to the verge of overthrow. So Satan's going to attack you in your mind. He's going to attack your flesh. You know, it's going to be particular things that happen to you. And if you let your conscience condemn you, you're not accepting what the situation that the Lord is putting you in. You see? Because when you don't accept it, you essentially letting your conscience condemn you. You think that what you're going through, when you in that woe is me spirit, woe is me, you're pretty much thinking that the Lord's saving power is not strong enough to get you out of that situation or to get you through that situation. Do not the scriptures say that what a word of a king is, there is power? Whatever the Lord put upon you, you could bear it. That even with the temptation, he won't suffer you to fall. You see, so when you're going through particular things, because you're going to go through things, man. This part of this, it's a rite of passage. You're going to suffer. You're going to have ups. You're going to have downs. That's what Paul said. I know how to be abased and I know how to be abound. You're going to have your ups and downs when you're in this truth. Yahushua had it. And we're following after the author and finisher of our faith. We're following after the footsteps of Yahushua. Yahushua had his ups and downs. You see? But nevertheless, Yahushua exercised what? He took it on and he embraced it. He accepted it. You see? He accepted it and it allowed him to prevail through the power and spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. But like it says, blessed is he who conscience have not condemned him. You see, blessed. Because if your conscience don't condemn you, what? You are essentially accepting what the Lord is putting you through. You're acknowledging the Lord's omnipotency. And by you doing that, that's going to give you the spirit to get through it. You know, even for my situation, you know, not to make it about me, but I remember when the elder, not elder Ashram, the elder Ariala, he had a talk with me, a very powerful talk through the power of Yahweh Shai, and he told me I gotta get over that my leg gone, you know. I'm pretty sure brothers, they should be familiar with my situation, but he said I gotta get over my leg being gone. And I didn't know that I was doing that. I didn't know, but when I thought more about it, when he said it, I was like, I am doing that. You see, I'm letting my conscience condemn me. I'm in that woe is me spirit, you know. But the Lord had my elder say that, you know, and call on Yahweh by Shai. I was receptive. I received it. You see, and it allowed me to get to the point to where I'm at now. And there's still more to go, but call on Yahweh by Shai. He gave me the strength. Because essentially when the Lord had these situations happen, he's already giving you the strength. You just need to have faith. You got to remember, the Lord declared it in from the beginning. If we be of the elect, the Lord be of the elect. We the hopeful elect will be elect. The Lord already has provision made for the elect. He already declared it from the beginning. But you just gotta have faith in and trust in Yahweh Bashma Shai that he has already created the provision. You see? So let me go back to that Romans. I'm gonna get it right here since I'm already here. Romans chapter 8. Romans 8 and verse 28. Read it again. It says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh Bashma Shai, to them who are called according to his purpose. You see, so if you've been ordained from the foundation of earth to receive the salvation, everything that the Lord throws at you, whether it comes from the left-hand side, whether it's in the spirit, everything's going to be a spirit at the end of the day. But everything the Lord throws at you, Satan tempting you, the things Satan doing, everything he does, Satan does, and things done on right, everything done is for the betterment of you. You see, as a matter of fact, it makes me instantly think of the scripture right here, Hebrews. I think it's Hebrews 12. You know, right? I'm going to get straight to the point. It says, Hebrews 12, chapter 10, it says, for they verily for a few days. Well, let me start up. It says, if you endure chastening, right? If you endure chastening, Yahweh Bashma Shai dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasten not? But if you be without chastenment, wherefore all are partakers, and ye are bastards and not sons. And we don't want to be that. We want to be Yashala. We want to be princes of Yahweh Bashma Shai. You see? But the only way you're going to be considered a prince of Yahweh Bashma Shai if you get that chastisement. You see? You undergo those particular things. It says, furthermore, we have had fathers of our own flesh who corrected us, and we gave them reverence. You know, you gave them respect. You feared them. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? You see, because the Lord is greater than our fathers, our fleshly fathers, our earthly mothers and fathers. Because what the Lord is doing, what he's doing, what he's putting us through, this is gonna allow us to be joint heirs and essentially be a part of the bringing back of the nation of Israel. You see, this is way bigger than us. You see, this is way bigger than us. But it says, keep going. It says, verse 10, for they verily for a few, verse 11. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, as a matter of fact, Salakia. Yes, verse 10. It says, for they verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. You see? So the Lord, if you don't accept the hell that the Lord is putting you through, you're not going to be able to receive the salvation. You're not going to be able to receive the kingdom of heaven the first go around. You're going to have to be burned up in a lake of fire. You're going to have to receive of the judgment because you're not receiving the correction that the Lord is giving you for your betterment. That's why, what did Job say? Job said, though the Lord slay me, I maintain my ways in him. Job showed an example, you know what I'm saying, which is the epitome example, Yahweh Shai. But you got another example, Job. He showed acceptance of his situation. And this is a characteristic of the elect. You see? Let me get that real quick. I think it's Colossians 3. Yeah, this is Colossians chapter 3, verse 12. It says, put on, therefore, as the elect of the Most High, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, accepting of the Lord dealings with you at that moment. That's what meekness means. You see? Going back to the I think it's the elder, but the Big Bro video, right? Going back to the Big Bro video. You see? You go to it.
At the end of the day,
you have to accept it, whatever it is. This is not an option. If you can't accept whatever it is the Lord is bringing you through, if you can't accept it, you're not going to be able to get through it. You're going to constantly have that woe is me spirit. You're going to constantly feel like that you whatever you're going through, you don't necessarily deserve to go through that. You're going to have a sense of entitlement. Which if you want to be technical, if you want to be not even technical, if you want to be in sense, we all deserve death. If anything, you see, it's mercy that the Lord is chastening us. Putting us through these particular things, building, because all these things do what? Build up our faith. We just read in Romans 8, all things work together to good to those that are called according to his purpose. So everything that we go through the power spirit of Yahweh Shai, all of this is for the betterment of the elect. This essentially is going to bring forth the elect to receive salvation. That's what it reads about in Hebrews 12. Going back to the Hebrews 12, right? This is Hebrews 12. Hebrews 12, we're going to read it again. Read the next verse. Hebrews 12. My tooth. This is Hebrews 12 and 11. It says, now no chastening for the moment. This is now no chastening, because you got to think about it. We read the Proverbs. He said he do it for our profit. You see? The reason that the Lord is putting us through these particular things, the reason that we undergo these particular things is for our benefit. It's not for his benefit. You remember, Yahweh Shai told us how the Lord, he could raise up stones unto Abraham, unto the Lord. So it's not like the Lord needs us to worship him. He needs us to serve him. No, he's putting us through, every brother through their individual walk for their benefit. This is going to make you partakers of the Holy. This is going to make you be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. This is going to make you be a part of that cluster of a grape. You see? Keep going. It says, now no chastening for the present seems to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which exercise thereby. So if you accept it, you're going to yield forth the peaceable fruit of righteousness. You see? You're going to bring forth fruit meet for repentance. But you got to accept, you got to take on and put on the elect that we read in the Colossians 3. Because we say it all the time, man. We the hopeful elect, right? Okay, we want to be the hopeful elect. We gotta put on. Read it again, Colossians 3 and 12. Put on, therefore, as the elect, right? And the Lord goes into certain characteristics of elect. They're holy, so they're separate. Beloved, you see, die. Bowels of mercy, they exercise mercy, kindness, humbleness. They have a humble spirit to them. Meekness, you see, meekness. What does meekness mean? Understanding the dealings that the Lord has with you. In other words, accepting of the certain position the Lord got you in. He might got you at a job that you necessarily don't really want to be at. He might have sat you down, and you might be sitting down for a long time. You see? And the longer you sit there and don't accept it, the longer it's going to take for you to get over that stumbling block. I ain't even going to say a stumbling block. Get over that obstacle. You see, because there's going to be a lot of obstacles thrown at us that we are going to overcome through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashma Shai. That's the key. You're going to overcome these obstacles, but it's going to be with you putting your trust in Yahweh Bashma Shai's saving power, putting your trust in Yahweh Bashma Shai's will. That's how you're going to overcome the obstacle. That's what Yahweh Shai did. Yahweh Shai, when he had his obstacle, the flesh started acting up. He started bleeding. He started sweating blood. What did he do? He put his trust in the Lord. He said, Lord, is there another way? But nevertheless, let thy will be done. So he said, Lord, if there's another way, Father, I would like to go that route. But nevertheless, let your will. He accepted what he had to go through because the Father didn't give no response. So he accepted it. He didn't chicken out. No, I can't do this. No, he accepted it and went through with it. And now he sat down at the right side of the Father, and he's sending down gifts, and he sent down a comforter so we could do the same thing through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashma Shai. So we could go through our certain trials and tribulations that we accepted, and we powered through it and get over the obstacle to receive salvation. You see? So I'm going to keep going. It says, put on, therefore, as the elect, it says, of the Most High, holy, beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as the Mashiach forgave you, also, forgave you, so also do ye. You see? So you got to accept it. Accept it. You see? That's how you're going to get through it. And you got to think about it, because I just read that Sirach 14 and 2. Let's get this. This is 1 John 3 and 20. It says, for if our heart condemn us, the Most High, Yahweh Bashma Shai, is greater than our heart, and knoweth all things. Beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then have we confidence towards Yahweh Bashma Shai. Salakia Akim. Go in there. Go back in there. Salakia. I'm gonna read it again. It says, 1 John 3:20. It says, for if the Most High, so like if our power, so like threw me off, my daughter threw me off. It says, for if our heart, what's the Hebrew word for heart? La'ab. So for if our mind condemn us, conscious, that for your mind, that for your conscience relies on your mind, essentially. The Lord Yahweh Bashma Shai is greater than our heart. He's greater than the shit that we got, our conscience. He's greater than that. Because, your conscience puts, your heart, your la'ab, what is it going to do? It puts the limitations on what you think you could do. The Lord is greater than that. You got to think about it. We dealing with the master of the universe. You see? We dealing with the individual that not only are we dealing with the one that gave Yahweh Shai the strength to undergo where he's going, we're dealing with Yahweh Shai, the one that put his trust in his Father and got through his obstacle. You see? Because we dealing with Yahweh through Yahweh Shai. You see? So it says, beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then have we confidence towards Yahweh Bashma Shai. You see? So if you accept and get past the particular thing that you're going through, the obstacle, whether it be you be up high, you be up low, you show your faith in Yahweh Bashma Shai. That's what it's all about. You see? Because in order for us to receive the blessing, we're going to have faith in Yahweh Bashma Shai. It speaks about that in Hebrews 4. It wasn't mixed with faith. So we want to get to salvation. You ain't going to get salvation unless you have faith. You see, and these particular things the Lord puts us through, that works on the muscle of faith. Your highs and your lows in the truth. But if you don't never accept them, you ain't gonna never increase. And you don't want to be stagnant in the truth, because if you're stagnant in the truth, then you're not fulfilling the prophecy as the scripture is going to, how the path of the just is as a shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. If you're being stagnant, the Lord ain't dealing with you. Because the elect is going to increase, and they're going to fulfill the measure of the spirit that they receive to get through the time of your troubles. Let me get this though. This is James chapter 1, right? And I'm starting from 1. It says, this is James, a servant of Yahweh Bashma Shai and of the Lord Yahweh. It's like James, a servant of the power and of the Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting, or shalom. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into our diverse temptations. You see? So when you go undergoing stuff, you got to be in a mindset of being joyful. What does scripture say? Happy is the man that the Most High correcteth. Despise not the chastening of Yahweh Bashma Shai. You see? That's the spirit you got to be in. It's like, let me do this real quick. That's the spirit you got to be in. Despising not the chastening of the Lord. Happy is the man that the Most High correcteth. Because all these things that the Lord is doing, it is for, we just read in Hebrews 2, it's for our benefit. It's so we can receive salvation. You got to work on this. You got to work on being more patient. You learn a lot of these particular things about yourself when the Lord puts you through certain situations. Oh, you got a little temper problem. You got to learn how to hold your peace more. You see? Oh, I got to learn how to manage money more. I got a lot of money and I got rid of it quick. Or I didn't seek out counsel before I did it. Whatever the case may be, the Lord does that so your eye could be open unto it, so you could be better used to Him. Right? It says, my brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith work of patience. You see, because what do these things essentially do? At the end of the day, these things essentially strengthen your faith and trust, because faith is essentially trust. It strengthens your faith and trust in Yahweh Bashma Shai. That's what they do. Because sometimes with a lot of the things the Lord could put you through, sometimes you don't even necessarily really understand why you were being put through it. But you just got to have trust that the Father knows best. You got to have trust that whatever the Lord, whatever reason, whatever the reason may be that the Lord has me going through this, the bigger picture of it is for me to receive salvation. It's to help me get to the next glory, to get to this glory. It's to help me to be more useful to him. It's to help me to get a spot on a chariot. That's what it's for. You see? Could be you need more patience. You don't need to have a woman right now. Or you could have a lot of women right now. You don't need to drink right now. Or you could drink right now. Or you could eat. Whatever the case may be, is all for your benefit. And through prayer, Lord, he'll eventually reveal it unto you. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't necessarily show you exactly what it is, essentially okay, it's for me to receive salvation. That's why he's doing it. It's just like a kid. The Lord said when the disciples were speaking about who should inherit the kingdom and things like that, the Lord brought the child and said the one that be like this child. What's significant about children? Children, they don't necessarily know why their parents tell them to do certain things. They don't understand why. They don't know why you can't give them. I want candy. I want sweets. I want to eat at this certain time of the day. I want to be outside after the street light. You might not necessarily understand all these particular things, but you trust your parent. You see? And you believe that, okay, I'm going to listen, because they my parents. And as you get older, you understand, the reason that they were saying these particular things was for my safety, for my health, for the betterment of me. That's the same thing that the Lord does. He put you through all these certain situations so it could be the betterment of you. And you might not necessarily understand them all the time. It's could say the Lord ways are higher than our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So you might not necessarily understand it in the moment, and he could reveal it to you then. He might not. But at the end of the day, you understand, okay, it's for me to receive salvation. It's for my betterment at the end of the day. So let's read a little bit more. It says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith work of patience, which patience is long suffering. But let patience have her perfect work. You see, it's a beautiness in the long suffering that the Lord puts it through because it builds us up. There's a beauty to it. You got to think about it, man. The Lord describes us as clay pieces. If somebody designing something and they do it really fast, especially depending on what it is, they do it really fast, it could come out sloppy. It could come out rushed. You see that a lot of time with movies. If a movie come out and they doing like a little series and they make the second movie of it like so soon, you watch the movie like, I could tell they rushed it. You see? When it comes to the Lord work, he's not rushing it. He's taking his time and he's doing his sculpting. You see? That's what he's doing with us. He's doing his sculpting. You got to remember, the Lord likened us unto gold and silver. When you go into, what are they called? When you go into the people that pretty much essentially work on gold and silver, stuff like that, the purification process is never, boom, boom, we done. We done. It's purified. I got all the dross out of the gold. I got all of the undesirable metals I want out of the gold. This is the purest form. No, it's a process to it. You see? And then eventually they stop when they see the reflection. And that's what we want the Lord to do. We want the Lord to see the reflection of himself in us. So it says, but let patience have her perfect work, because this is a perfect thing that the Lord's doing, man. You see, this is a beautiful thing. It says that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. You see, that you only gonna have that mindset if you accept it. That's letting patience have our perfect work is accepting what the Lord is bringing you through. Accept it, whatever it is. Accept it. You ain't got a woman, accept it. You see, and brothers got different situations that they undergoing because the Lord is all trying. This is a rite of passage. But if you don't accept it, you ain't gonna never grow. You're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be stagnant. I hear that a lot of times with people. When I talk a lot of times with the prosthesis people that I go to and stuff, a lot of the stories they tell me is like, this dude, he was stagnant. He it was 2-3 months. It was no improvement. Why? Because he didn't fully accept his situation that he was in. It was there. And it was inevitable, it was out, he couldn't control it, but he didn't accept it. But once they begin to accept it, that's when they started growing. Same thing when it comes to this ministry, it comes with our walk. You don't, and the things the Lord put us through, you don't accept it, you ain't gonna grow. And if you don't grow, the Lord ain't gonna be dealing with you because it's all about growth. So I put in the chat real quick, I just put how does a see chat look a little different. You know, they did a little update on it, so it look a little different. It kind of like regular messages. But I said, how does acceptance of a particular situation encourage growth? So it says, I just read a little bit of it. There's certain points, but it says acceptance can encourage growth because it stops you from spending all your energy fighting reality and allows you to start working with reality. Because that's another thing too. You know, you accepting, not accepting is thinking you have control over the situation. You don't have control over the situation. The Lord has already ordained whatever you're going through. He's already has it written. You don't have control over it. You see? So it says, for example, imagine something happens to you cannot undo. There are usually two different responses. Resistance, this shouldn't have happened. I wish things were different. Why me? That's that woe is me spirit. Then you have acceptance. I don't like that. This happened, but it happened. What can I do from it? And not to say that you won't get those thoughts. You know, you're in the flesh. You know, you're in the flesh. You'll have a woe, but you got to snap out of it. You got to, like we just read in Sirach 12. You see? Well, actually, we just read in the 1 John. The Lord is greater than our hearts. You got to remember that. We got to remember that the Lord is greater than our hearts, our la'ab, our mind. He's greater than that. You see? And once you understand that, you're going to be able to get through the situation that you're in. But if you, as long as you keep thinking that the Lord can't save you out of it and he can't get you out of the situation, whatever woe is me, I'm too through, then you ain't going to be able to get over it. You see? You don't want to have that resistance to the process. You're going to be malleable. You want to be like water. That's why Apostle Kai, he said you got to be like water in the truth. You got to be like water. Because water doesn't resist. You put water in a water bottle, it's going to take the shape of the water bottle. You put water in a can, it's going to take the shape of the can. If you draw a little line, if you draw a little path for the water in the dirt, the water is going to seep into the part because it's lower and it's going to follow that path. It's not going to resist it. We got to be like the living water. We can't resist. We got to flow with the motion. And what happens when the water doesn't resist the directions being pushed to, it gets to that destination. Ain't we trying to get to the kingdom of heaven? But you're not going to get to it if you're resisting. You're only going to get there if you're accepting of what the Lord is putting you through. Because it's for your betterment anyways. It hurt. You see? It hurt. But the Lord giving us the strength to get through it. You just got to have faith and trust that the Lord has. And he's already made the provision for you. It keeps going. It says, I'm reading a little bit more. It says, acceptance doesn't mean you approve of or like it, approve of it, like or give up on changing the situation. It means recognizing the reality of where you are. Let's see. I think it was a point. It says right here. It says you can create growth in several ways. It says you can gain clarity once you stop denying what is happening. You can see the situation more objectively and identify what is actually within your control. You see, which at the end of the day is nothing but you could pretty much progress. You see, and it says you develop resilience. Difficult circumstances can teach you how to tolerate discomfort, adapt, and keep moving forward. And that's the main thing, to keep moving forward. To not, scripture say a just man falls 7 times. You see, 7 times mean completion. So it could be any amount of time. But what happens? He gets back up and keep moving forward. Why it says the wicked fall into mischief and they don't get back up. We don't want to be like that. We want to keep moving forward, keep progressing, keep serving, keep being the best version we could be of ourselves. It says you redirect your energy. It says instead of constantly asking why this happened, you can be asking what can I do now? You see, and these are a lot of the things that I apply to myself. In my situation. It says you learn about yourself. Difficult situations can reveal your patience, weaknesses, strengths, values, and priorities. That's what we want. You see? So when Lord put us through stuff, it reveals to us what we need to work on. I ain't that patient when it comes to this. I got to exercise more faith when it comes to this. It shows you who you are. And if you don't accept it, you're being entitled to you know what? No, I'm not this. You're pretty much calling the Lord a liar. I'm not going to accept that. I'm not like that. I don't deal with that. No, you do. That's the part of getting better. When you go to If somebody's an addict or they're an alcoholic or whatever, and they're dealing with a major vice that they can't get over, the main way is to look in the mirror and to tell yourself that you are what you're dealing with. And when you accept that, then you could get over it. When you lie to yourself, you're never going to get over it. You see? It says you become adaptable. Life rarely follows exactly the plan we create. Acceptance teaches you to adjust without losing your sense of direction. Be like water. You see? And it says you can find meaning in hardship. Sometimes a situation can become an opportunity to develop qualities you might not have developed otherwise. Discipline, patience, empathy, courage, or determination. A good way to think about this is acceptance, clarity, adaptation, action, and growth. And there's no important, it says, and there's an important distinction. Acceptance is not surrender. You can't accept this. You can't accept this is where I am right now while simultaneously working toward this is where I want to be. You see? Because there's nothing to accepting this. Acceptance is not weakness. Yahweh Shai, he accepted his situation. That wasn't weakness. That was the strongest thing he could possibly do. And that was an example unto us of what we need to do, man. So I'm gonna end it off with this. I end off with the Hebrews 2. Get the example, man. This is Hebrews 2. My bad. It's 12. It's Hebrews chapter 12. This is Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 2. It says, looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High the Power. You see? Looking at the example, Yahweh Shai accepted and he embraced his situation. You know, instead of always praying to the Lord, hey, Lord, get me out of this situation, pray for, Lord, give me the strength to endure. Because you got to go through it. Sometimes you got to go through it to get to it. You know what they say in the world. Sometimes you got to go through it to get to it. You can't always look for an outlet out, because a lot of these things, a lot of people, they say, sometimes they'll tell you it's not the destination, it's the journey. You see? Well, why? Because when you undergo the journey, there's particular things that you learn about yourself. You learn your weaknesses, you learn your strengths, and you begin to work on those things, and that just all plays a part in the full circumference of the betterment of you. And we want to be the best version we could be in this truth. We want to meet up to that measure of Yahweh Bashar has displayed for us, which is different for every brother. Every brother's situation is different. Every brother measure is different. But we want to meet up to it. And Yahweh Shai, he showed us an example of that. See? So Lord, when this is edifying to the power spirit of Yahweh Bashar Shai, I'm going to end it up saying, call Allah, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, HaKakwadash. I'm going to get them honor to the apostles and integrate millstone. And go subscribe to the brother channel, man. It's called GMS Punish the Wicked. You know, when you see that, I think it's 7064. You know, sometimes you do be tripping. But go subscribe to the Big Bro video. And to y'all, I'm going to say shalom.